The Galactic Trade Station Epsilon 7 floated in the void between star systems, a massive wheel of metal and energy shields that serve as neutral ground for a dozen alien species. Inside the central marketplace, Ambassador Crixtal of the Zelathi Empire watched the human delegation with barely concealed amusement. His 4 arms folded across his crystalline chest as he observed the small group of Earth representatives trying to negotiate a basic mining agreement. "Look at them," Crixtal said to his aide, his voice carrying the distinctive harmonic resonance of his species. "They cluster together like frightened prey animals. No wonder the other species call them pet crowds, always huddling for comfort, always seeking approval." The aide, a younger Zelathi named Vexmar, clicked his mandibles in agreement. The Gorva traders were laughing about it yesterday. They said humans are so desperate for acceptance that they'll agree to any terms just to feel included. Across the vast trading floor, Sarah Chun, Earth's lead negotiator, felt the weight of alien eyes upon her team. She knew what they thought. The humans were weak, social creatures who valued belonging over strength. The insulting nickname had spread through the galaxy faster than human ships could travel. Every species they encountered seemed to share the same condescending view. "They're doing it again," whispered Marcus, one of her assistants. "The Zelathi are literally pointing at us and laughing." Sarah maintained her professional composure, though her jaw tightened. "Let them laugh. We still need this mining agreement." The negotiations dragged on for hours. The Zelathi delegates made increasingly unreasonable demands, knowing the humans would eventually cave rather than risk being excluded from galactic trade. It was the same pattern everywhere. Aliens saw humanity's social nature as a fundamental weakness to exploit. Commander Jake Havoc Morrison sat in the back of a military transport ship 3 systems away, reading the latest diplomatic reports with growing disgust. The former Navy SEAL had been assigned to a new experimental program, human enhancement and asset protection. His scarred hands gripped the tablet as he read about another failed negotiation, another humiliation for Earth. "Pet crowds," he muttered, setting down the device. "They have no idea what humans are capable of." Beside him, 2 massive figures shifted in specially reinforced seats. They wore modified military gear that barely contained their bulk, and their faces were hidden behind tactical masks. Most people would have been terrified to share space with them, but Morrison had spent the last 6 months training alongside these beings. "Getting angry again, Commander?" The voice was deep and rumbling like distant thunder. Despite the inhuman timbre, there was a note of concern. Morrison glanced at the speaker, 8 feet tall, covered in thick brown fur where the gear didn't cover, with hands that could crush steel. "Just tired of reading about our people getting pushed around, Kong." The other figure, slightly larger with darker fur, spoke up. "The aliens think all humans are weak because they value cooperation. They don't understand that human pack behavior can manifest in different ways." "Exactly right, Caesar," Morrison agreed. He had given them those call signs during training. It seemed appropriate given their appearance. The truth about his 2 companions was one of Earth's most closely guarded secrets. The discovery had happened by accident 5 years ago in the Pacific Northwest. A military training exercise had gone wrong, and a squad had gotten lost in the deep wilderness. What they found there changed everything. An intelligent species that had evolved alongside humanity, but remained hidden. They weren't exactly what the old legends described, but they were close enough that the name stuck. Sasquatch. Bigfoot. The forest people. First contact had been tense, but these beings possessed a remarkable intelligence and a surprising revelation. They had been watching humanity for millennia, and they considered humans their little cousins. When Earth faced threats from galactic civilization, several of their kind had volunteered to help. Kong and Caesar were the first to complete military training. Their natural strength was incredible. A casual swipe could dent hull plating, but it was their intelligence and tactical thinking that impressed Morrison most. They had absorbed military strategy and combat techniques with frightening efficiency. ETA to Epsilon 7 is 6 hours, the pilot announced over the comm. Morrison stood, checking his gear. "Remember the mission parameters. We're there as a security detail for the human delegation. Nobody needs to know what you are unless things go sideways. And if they do go sideways, Caesar asked, a hint of eagerness in his voice. Then, we remind the galaxy that humans didn't become Earth's apex predators by being anyone's pets. Back on Epsilon 7, the situation had deteriorated. The Zealothi had presented their final offer, a mining agreement that would essentially make Earth a vassal state, providing resources for almost nothing in return. Other alien delegations had gathered to watch, sensing entertainment in humanity's humiliation. "This is outrageous," Sarachan said, standing from the negotiation table. "These terms are nothing short of exploitation." Krikstal's crystalline form seemed to shimmer with satisfaction. "Then perhaps humans should reconsider whether they're ready for galactic commerce. After all, pets should know their place." The insult sparked laughter from several alien species watching the proceedings. The Gorvok delegates pounded their stone-like fists on tables in amusement. The ethereal Lysandri chimed their bell-like voices in mocking harmony. Sarah felt her team shrinking behind her, their confidence shattered. This was exactly what the aliens expected. Humans clustering together when threatened, seeking comfort in their group rather than standing strong. The main doors to the trading floor suddenly hissed open. 3 figures entered, and the laughter gradually died. The one in front walked with the controlled precision of a predator. Human, but different from the diplomats. His movements were economical, purposeful. Scars marked his exposed skin, and his eyes swept the room with calculating intensity. The 2 figures flanking him were massive, wearing heavy military gear and full-face masks. They moved with surprising grace for their size. "I apologize for the interruption," the scarred human said, though his tone suggested he wasn't sorry at all. "I'm Commander Morrison, newly assigned security detail for the Earth delegation. I understand negotiations have hit a snag." Krikstal studied the newcomers with sudden wariness. Something about them triggered instinctive alarms in his mind. "Security? How amusing. Did you bring more pets to guard your pet crowd?" Morrison smiled. It wasn't a pleasant expression. "Actually, I brought colleagues. Kong, Caesar, why don't you make yourselves comfortable?" The 2 massive figures moved to flanking positions around the human delegation. Several aliens stepped back unconsciously. The Gorvok, a species that prided themselves on strength, seemed particularly unsettled by the size of Morrison's companions. "Now then," Morrison continued, pulling up a chair with deliberate casualness. "I've reviewed the proposed agreement. It seems unbalanced. I think we should renegotiate." "The terms are final," Krikstal said, but some of his earlier confidence had evaporated. "Humans can accept them or leave." Morrison leaned back in his chair. "See, that's where you're wrong. You've been dealing with our diplomats, good people, peaceful people. They represent what humanity aspires to be. But there's something about humans you seem to have forgotten." He stood slowly, and somehow the movement drew every eye in the room. "We didn't become the dominant species on our planet by being nice. We did it by being the most effective predators evolution ever produced. We persistence hunted. We developed tools. We formed packs not for comfort, but for coordinated killing." The room had gone silent. Even the translator systems seemed to hesitate before rendering his words. "You call us pet crowds because we value our groups, our societies. But human pack dynamics aren't about weakness." Morrison's voice had dropped to barely above a whisper, yet carried clearly. "A wolf pack isn't a support group. It's a hunting unit." One of the Gorvok delegates, bolder than the rest, stood up. The species resembled living stone, 7 feet tall and naturally armored. "Threats? From humans? You speak boldly for prey animals." Morrison glanced at Kong. "Show them." The massive figure reached up and removed his tactical mask. The collective gasp from the assembled aliens was audible. Kong's face was almost human in its intelligence, but the pronounced brow, the fanged teeth, the primitive power, this was something out of nightmares. What is that?" Vexmar whispered. "That," Morrison said conversationally, "is one of humanity's cousins. Turns out we weren't the only sapient predators to evolve on Earth." The difference is, while humans developed technology and civilization, they developed other talents. Kong smiled, revealing more teeth than any being should possess. When he spoke, his deep voice carried primal authority. We're what humans call Sasquatch. We watched our little cousins conquer the world with tools and teamwork. Now, we stand with them as they face the stars. Caesar removed his own mask, showing features even more intimidating than Kong's. The galaxy misunderstands human pack behavior. You see huddling prey. We see coordinated hunters who conquered a death world through cooperation. The Zealoty ambassador had lost his shimmer of superiority. His four arms trembled slightly as he processed this revelation. Earth had not one, but at least two sapient predator species, and they were working together. Morrison picked up the proposed agreement and, slowly, deliberately, tore it in half. Here's our counteroffer. Fair mining rights, equal partnership, mutual benefit. Or we walk away, and you can explain to your superiors why you lost access to Earth's resources entirely. You can't threaten us, Crickstown managed. This is a neutral station. Violence is forbidden. Who said anything about violence? Morrison asked innocently. I'm just negotiating. Although, he glanced at his companions. Kong, Caesar, are you feeling threatened? I know you get protective when you think the pack is in danger. Both Sasquatch began to emit low rumbling sounds. Not quite growls, but something that triggered primal fear responses in every species present. Several delegates backed away from the negotiation area entirely. Sarah Chun, recovering from her shock, stepped forward. Perhaps we should review the terms again. I'm sure we can find something mutually beneficial. The next 3 hours saw the most rapid diplomatic reversal in galactic history. The Zealoty, suddenly, eager to accommodate, agreed to terms that actually favored Earth. Other species watched in stunned silence as humans went from pet crowds to respected partners. As the agreements were finalized, Morrison stood with his team. Pleasure doing business. Oh, and spread the word, Earth is under new management. We're done being anyone's pets. They left the station in formation, the scarred seal leading, the two Sasquatch flanking the diplomatic team protectively. The message was clear. Humans might prefer peaceful cooperation, but they had teeth when needed. In the days that followed, word spread through the galaxy like wildfire. The pet crowds had protectors, their own planetary cousins who made even the warrior species nervous. The insulting nickname disappeared almost overnight. Back on Earth, in a secure facility, Morrison debriefed with his superiors. Initial integration successful. Kong and Caesar performed perfectly. The psychological impact exceeded projections. The general nodded. The other species? Their reaction? Immediate reassessment of human threat levels. Several civilizations have already reached out about renegotiating existing agreements. Morrison paused. There is one concern. Now that we've revealed the Sasquatch, others want to know more. How many there are, what else we might be hiding. Let them wonder, the general said. Mystery is its own deterrent. What matters is they no longer see us as weak. In the depths of the Pacific Northwest, in hidden valleys untouched by human development, the forest people gathered. The eldest among them, ancient beyond human comprehension, spoke to the assembly. Our cousins have asked for our help, and we have given it. Kong and Caesar walk among the stars as our representatives. The galaxy will learn what we have always known. Humans are not pets to be controlled, but packmates to be respected. The gathered Sasquatch rumbled their agreement. For millennia, they had watched humanity struggle and grow. Now, as Earth faced challenges from beyond, they would stand together. On Epsilon 7, Crickstown stood before the Galactic Council's emergency session. His report had caused pandemonium among the member species. You're certain they were native to Earth? The Prime Coordinator asked. Without doubt. The humans called them Sasquatch. They claim to have evolved alongside humanity. Their strength is considerable. Their intelligence is undeniable. And they view humans as family. How many exist? Crickstown's colors shifted to indicate uncertainty. Unknown. The humans were deliberately vague. It could be dozens. It could be thousands. The council chamber erupted in debate. Some called for sanctions against Earth for hiding such information. Others argued for appeasement, fearing what else the humans might be concealing. The Lysandri representative chimed for attention. We have underestimated humanity. We saw their social nature as weakness, their desire for cooperation as submission. But what if we were wrong? What if their pet crowd behavior is actually the universe's most successful survival strategy? Explain, the Prime Coordinator demanded. Consider, humans didn't evolve alone. They evolved alongside the Sasquatch, and who knows what else. Yet instead of competing to extinction, they developed parallel civilizations. The humans built technology while their cousins developed physical prowess. Now they unite their strengths. This isn't weakness, it's symbiosis perfected. The implications hung heavy in the chamber. If Earth had multiple sapient species working together, if human pack bonding could extend even to other species, then humanity's potential alliances were limitless. Morrison's team had returned to Earth, but their mission was far from over. In a training facility hidden in the Montana mountains, dozens of Sasquatch worked alongside human special forces. The integration program was expanding rapidly. Kong and Caesar supervised the training, teaching their kind human military tactics, while humans learned Sasquatch hunting techniques. It was a fascinating exchange, technology meeting primal skill. The galaxy still doesn't understand, Caesar observed, watching a mixed unit practice maneuvers. They think we revealed a weapon. But we revealed something more powerful, that humans can turn any relationship into pack bonds. Morrison nodded. Let them figure out slowly. For now, they're too scared to test us, and that gives us time to prepare. Sarah Chun had returned to her role as lead negotiator, but everything had changed. Where once alien delegates had been dismissive, now they were cautious, respectful. The mere possibility that she might have Sasquatch protection altered every dynamic. In one memorable incident, a Gorvok trader attempted to intimidate her during negotiations. She simply smiled and said, "Would you like me to call my security detail?" They get concerned when voices are raised. The trader immediately became more reasonable. The transformation of humanity's galactic reputation happened with stunning speed. Academic papers were written about the Epsilon 7 paradigm shift. Military analysts studied footage of Kong and Caesar, trying to estimate their combat capabilities. Xenobiologists demanded access to study Earth's hidden species. All requests were politely declined. 6 months after the incident, Morrison received an unexpected visitor. The being introduced himself as the YX Theta of the Arcanum, an ancient species known for their wisdom and neutrality. "We have observed the changes in galactic dynamics," ZYX Theta said, his ethereal form shifting like smoke. "You have done more than reveal military assets. You have challenged fundamental assumptions about strength and cooperation." "How so?" Morrison asked. "For eons, galactic civilization has operated on the principle that strength comes from individual species dominance. Wars were fought, empires rose and fell, all based on single species superiority. But humans, you suggest something different. Strength through diversity. Power through alliance." Morrison leaned back. "It's not a new concept for us. Humans have always been pack animals." "Yes, but your packs include other species. Not as servants or slaves, but as equals. The Sasquatch stand with you by choice. This terrifies the established powers more than any weapon." "Good," Morrison said simply. ZYX Theta's form rippled with what might have been amusement. "Indeed. But be warned, fear can motivate terrible decisions. Some species may seek to prevent Earth from spreading this philosophy. Then they'll learn another lesson about humans," Morrison replied. "We protect our pack." The Arcanum departed with much to consider. Morrison immediately began preparing for potential hostile action. If the galaxy's established powers felt threatened by Earth's example, conflict might be inevitable. In the hidden valleys, the Sasquatch elders convened once more. The success of Kong and Caesar had inspired many volunteers. Young Sasquatch, eager to explore the stars and protect their human cousins, trained daily. But the elders knew truths that even Morrison didn't. The Sasquatch were not the only hidden species on Earth. In the depths of oceans, in forgotten caverns, in remote wilderness areas, other intelligences waited and watched. The time of hiding ends, the eldest declared. Our human cousins have shown that Earth stands united. Perhaps it is time for all of Earth's children to step into the light. The assembly considered this in profound silence. For millions of years, Earth's various sapient species had lived in careful separation. But the galaxy had forced their hand. Alone, humans were pet crowds. Together, Earth's children might reshape galactic civilization itself. Kong and Caesar, now permanently assigned to the space station, had become celebrities of sorts. Their quarters were modified to accommodate their size, and they spent their off-duty hours in the station's observation deck, watching the stars. "Do you think we did the right thing?" Kong asked one evening. "Revealing ourselves?" Caesar considered this. The humans needed us. That made it right. But more than that, look at how the galaxy sees them now. Not as pets, but as leaders of something new. If our emergence helped that, then yes, it was right. The other species still fear us. They fear what we represent, that Earth is not what they assumed. That's not a bad thing. Caesar paused. "Although I do miss the forests." "As do I, brother. But this is our forest now, metal and stars instead of wood and Earth. And our pack needs us here." A year after the Epsilon 7 incident, Earth hosted its first interspecies galactic summit. Representatives from 12 civilizations attended, curious about humanity's partnership model. Morrison provided security, now leading a mixed unit of humans and Sasquatch that had become legendary for their efficiency. Sarah Chun led the diplomatic efforts, teaching alien species about human concepts of mutual benefit and pack loyalty. The summit's success exceeded all expectations. 3 species signed cooperative agreements based on Earth's model. Others observed, still wary but intrigued. The Zealoty ambassador, Crixtal, approached Morrison during a break. "I owe you an apology, Commander. We gravely misunderstood your species." Morrison studied the crystalline being. "You saw what you expected to see. Peaceful humans seeking connection. You just didn't realize that's our strength, not our weakness." "Indeed. May I ask, are there truly other sapient species on Earth? Or was that merely psychological warfare?" Morrison smiled that unsettling smile. "What do you think?" Crixtal's colors shifted uncertainly. "I think Earth holds more secrets than the galaxy is prepared for." Then, you're learning. As the summit concluded, a new era dawned for galactic civilization. The pet crowd, insult, had become a badge of honor. Yes, humans formed groups, but their groups included beings that made the warrior species nervous. Earth's influence spread not through conquest, but through example. Species that had been enemies for millennia began tentative cooperation, inspired by the human-Sasquatch partnership. The galaxy was changing one alliance at a time. In a secure facility on Earth, Morrison met with the Joint Chiefs and representatives from the hidden species. The Sasquatch elders sat alongside human generals. For the first time, other figures were present, beings from the depths of the ocean, from underground civilizations, from realities parallel to our own. "The galaxy knows about the Sasquatch," the chairman said. "Do we reveal the others?" "Not yet," Morrison advised. "Let them adjust to one revelation before we present another. But we should begin integration training. If hostile forces move against Earth, we need all our children ready." Agreement rippled through the assembly. Earth's hidden species would remain hidden for now, but they would prepare. The galaxy had called humans pet crowds, never realizing that Earth's greatest strength was its ability to form packs across species lines. The meeting concluded with a moment that would have stunned galactic observers. Humans, Sasquatch, and beings defying easy description stood together in unified purpose. Not as conquerors, but as protectors. Not as individual species, but as Earth's children. Morrison stood with Kong and Caesar as the assembly dispersed. "Think the galaxy's ready for the truth about Earth?" Kong rumbled what passed for laughter among his kind. They weren't ready for just us. The full truth might break their minds. Then, we'll reveal it slowly, Caesar added. Let them grow into the understanding as humanity grew into partnership with us. Morrison nodded. The long game. I like it. As they walked back through the facility, past training grounds where humans and non-humans worked together, Morrison reflected on the journey. From pet crowds to respected power in just 1 year. But this was only the beginning. The galaxy had learned that humans weren't pets. Soon, they would learn that Earth itself was no ordinary world. It was a cradle of cooperation, a laboratory of symbiosis, a world where supposed enemies became packmates. The stars beckoned, full of challenge and possibility. Earth's children would meet them together, as they always should have. The age of hiding was over. The age of unity had begun. In the depths of space, on stations, and ships across the galaxy, the story spread. How humans revealed their planetary brothers. How pet crowds became predator packs. How Earth changed the meaning of strength itself. And in quiet moments, when alien species gathered to discuss the future, one question echoed through their conversations. If Earth could hide the Sasquatch for millennia, what else might be waiting in the shadows of that small, blue world? Morrison, Kong, Caesar, and all of Earth's children knew the answer. But the galaxy would have to earn that knowledge, one partnership at a time. The pet crowds had teeth, claws, and, most dangerously of all, they had each other. The transformation was complete. Humanity's place in the galaxy was secured not through force or fear alone, but through the fundamental truth the aliens had mocked. Humans were social creatures. They formed packs. They protected their own, and their own included anyone willing to stand with them. From pet crowds to partners. From mockery to respect. From isolation to integration. The galaxy would never be the same.